Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips team leaders to lead their way through all the challenges that they may face on a daily basis. This show is sponsored by the CLC team, and they help turn poor communicating teams with unhealthy relationships and attitudes and low performance into high performing and high producing unified teams. Find out more about them at clcteam.com.
Have you ever been doing a job and all of a sudden you realize you are in over your head? Like, what have I got myself into here? Well, if you haven't, there's a good chance you simply haven't been exploring enough as a leader, because sooner or later, there will be a day when you get that feeling. Today, we're going to talk about what you need to do when you face that moment. Okay, let's talk about today's challenge of leadership limitations, or better yet, knowing your limitations. This challenge hits close to home for me because there have been many times where I seem to be lost throughout the various leadership positions I've held. And you know what? I'm proud to admit that. Whenever I felt lost, I wouldn't try to hide it. I would admit I didn't know, but would always know who did know. Leaders are simply expected to know everything most of the time, and to be truthful, that may be just an unrealistic expectation. Think about it for a second. As quickly as things change in today's world, it's nearly impossible to have all the answers. And quite frankly, I like not having all the answers. I like learning with my team members. I like them knowing that I'm not the expert in everything. I like them not being afraid to ask me difficult questions because it keeps me fresh. It keeps me learning. It keeps me on my toes. The thing is, when you don't know something, you always need to know where to find the info, or you need to know who to talk to. In my Air Force career, I moved around a lot. We generally stayed in one spot for about 3 or 4 years, and then it was on to someplace new. The first thing on my agenda was always to observe the people I was going to be working with. I would ask a lot of questions about various things, and I would begin to make a list of who the experts were. I would literally make a list of people to include their name, their phone numbers, their email, whatever I needed to know to get a hold of them. I would also start making a list of local places that I knew had great resources, including very knowledgeable and friendly people. To this day, I still have a list of people who I can turn to whenever I'm in a bind. Of course, it's no longer written down, but it is still tucked in my left rear pocket. It's now on my phone. So let me ask you, who can you turn to when you have that moment? Who are the experts in your life who you know have the answer or can at least point you in the right direction? I think that's the key. Don't expect your experts to always tell you the answer, but at least expect them to point you in the right direction. Finding the information with your team members is part of the fun and a lesson you'll always remember, and so will they. If you don't have a list of experts in your life, start making one today. If you don't know where to start, just observe who the people around you always go to for answers. Who do they go to when, hits the fan? That person needs to be on your list. Then go ask that person who they turn to when they're in over their heads. The next time you're in a store, see who people go to, and then go introduce yourself to them. As a minimum, get their name, because you may just freak them out a little bit if you start quizzing them for their names and numbers and emails. Once you start building a list, have your people start doing the same thing. A great list of resources will prove to be invaluable throughout your leadership career.
Hey, hope you have a great rest of your day. And until tomorrow, run to your challenges.